This is the Say It Can't Gamer, and you are live with the MMA-Holes!
Mixed Martial A-Holes! MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes. You like to be a mixed martial A-hole. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes.
Boom, 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 boom.
No way.
Oh!
From the Quaid Studios of New York, UFC Germany Fight Week, MMA news fighter Caleb Hall is live with the MMA Holes! Yeah! Wonderful, wonderful. What's up, TGI? W. Thank God it's Wednesday with the MMA Holes. I hope everyone has their pants off, like us. Right, Jessie?
I have my pants off right now.
That's right. Pants off, shirts on. And wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Tonight is a fascinating show. Season 2, episode 27. We will be discussing the topics in the world of mixed martial arts. The UFK. It is Fight Week in Germany. This Sunday we'll be on nice and early to hang with the boys.
Hang with the boys!
We have fighter Caleb Hall live in the MMA Holes. And some people might be like,
Who the fuck is that guy?
don't worry. We're going to fill you in on that. We had Ryan Jarena on Monday, and there was an interesting story. We're going to get the other side of the story with Caleb Hall. He's going to do a quick spot with the MMA Holes. We might have some surprises along the way. But, Jessie, how are you on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday?
I am hanging in there. How are you on this
Wonderful,
wonderful
Hanging in
Wednesday.
Hanging in there is not one of the sound drops.
It is now. I'll make it one.
So it's like, all right, so we can play,
Wonderful, wonderful.
and then we can play Hanging in There. We should do that, actually.
Yes, I will do it.
Well, what about Hanging with the Boys?
Hang with the boys!
You can keep it.
Okay. Well, that's like kind of like Hanging in There.
No, it's not.
It's hanging.
Hanging in there is like you could murder someone, you could off yourself. It could go one of two ways.
Well, Jessie, tonight you're going to party.
Maybe.
Tonight we're going to have fun. Because tonight we're going 2 swole hours with the MMA Holes. First topic of the night, Anderson Silva taking a shit on 1 year. Because there was indeed a 1-year suspension. Now, this is weird. I don't know why this is news now, but I guess it's confirmed that the suspension is only for 1 year. And Anderson, the Spider Silva, it looks like he's going to be coming back at 43 years old. Now, do you think he's making this face because he's taking a shit or his back hurts, he's old? What do you think, Jessie? Why do you think he's making this face?
Because he knows he's coming back in November.
He's excited?
He's very excited.
Actually, it looks like he's jerking off, right? It looks like his left hand is in fap position.
Fap, 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 fap.
Is that what's going on, Jessie?
Yes.
All right, we're going to start off with this story over here on the MMAHoles.com. Jessie, what do we got going on here with Anderson, the Spider Silva?
As you have previously mentioned, Anderson Silva received a 1-year suspension by USADA for a contaminated supplement, and he is eligible to return in November. The supplement, as I can try and pronounce it as best I can.
All right.
Is he tested positive for methyl testosterone metabolites and hydrochlorothiazide. I believe I pronounced it correct.
Yeah.
The supplements did come from a Brazilian compounding pharmacy, which prepared his supplement. And they didn't have any prohibited substances listed in the past, and this is just something that sort of happened. Some people still debate on whether or not he is guilty, whether or not He just happened to pop something he shouldn't have. He is 43 years old. He says he's ready to come back to fight in the octagon, so this is not going to be the end of Silva anytime soon.
It's funny. There was a time where Anderson Silva's family is like, nope, I think you should hang up the gloves or lay down the gloves. I think it's enough, Dad. You've done enough. And you're a legend, and go away. Anderson Silva does not want to go away. Now, in fact, Anderson Silva is probably the guy that really got me into the sport. He was the first actual mixed martial artist that I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm not do this. I can watch this. Because God knows I can't do it. But I can watch this. This is a sport that's spectacular, and this man is a specimen. And then steroids come into play. And, you know, trouble here, there. The Spider at 43 years old is trying to make a comeback. And what is next for Anderson Silva?
More like how long is he going to stay after his suspension is over? He did say the last 9 months were some of the most difficult of his career. So you got to think it's not going to be much longer. He's going to be
in
the octagon. He's
the guy's going
to
you can't see him fighting too much longer, even though black don't crack. So, maybe he can last a little bit longer than most. But, he cracked against Mr. Weidman, right? His leg cracked in half. But Anderson the Spider Silva, this is the question I'm going to ask to the MMA-Holes. First of all, who do you want the Spider to fight? Second, do you want the Spider to fight? And would you be excited for the final Anderson Silva versus GSP, which people have spoken about when, the Silva was in his prime. GSP was unbeatable, except for Matt Serra. But, there was a time where people were like, this fight's going to happen. Would you like to see this fight happen now that Anderson Silva is on his way out? GSP is long in the tooth, but still looks pretty good. Would you like to see that fight? Answer my questions. Jessie, what do you think about those things?
Sure.
There's 3 questions.
Yeah, okay. What?
All right, first question. Sure.
I'm reading articles over here. I have no idea what you said.
Anderson Silva, do you want to see him come back?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What was the other question?
You don't even know your own question.
No, I just got thrown for a loop. Anyway, one of the other questions was GSP.
Yes.
Would you like to see him fight GSP at this stage of the game?
Sure.
So you don't sound too excited about that.
I think GSP is hitting the cusp of his end as well.
Well, yeah, you can say that, but at this stage of the game, you got to think that GSP has a little bit of an edge, even though he's a little undersized.
Because
doesn't really
Silva
matter.
hasn't fought?
Well, Silva hasn't fought. He's 43 years old, and he's kind of been a shell of his superstar self,
Okay, then sure. Sure.
What do you guys think in the chat? Let me see what the guys and gals say over there. Jesse, what we got going on in that chat?
Vigo Stockholm says, don't want to see that fight. Steve Johnson says, United States Postal Services is the biggest drug dealer in the country. Do Chronic, GSP would do it. Michael Enslone says, yes, yes, and yes. Flat Earth Deacon dropping the 1. Almond Bro 74 says, I could go for that. Vigo Stockholm says, Anderson Silva versus Fedor. Duke Chronic says GSP wants big fights. I'd watch Silva fight anyone, says Steve Johnson. Swatter says King Your Mother's Ringhole. Brian Reuters says Spider v Bellator Masters Division. Duke Chronic GSP is not 40. Drunk Savage says GSP probably isn't going back to middleweight. Isaiah Moore says GSP in his prime. GSP ain't fighting anyone under $1 million purse, says Steve Johnson.
Now, would this be considered a super fight? Back in the day, this was a super fight. But would it be considered a super fight now? You got to think. Would money be involved? Would there be any push for this fight? Could they market this fight to be that super fight? It was supposed to happen. They wanted this fight to happen. Back in the day, this fight would have been fire. Absolute fire. But right now, you got to think it lost its luster a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be a big money fight, but GSP, he does get the ratings. So maybe it could be a big money fight. I don't know. There's a beep in the chat, Jesse. They're calling your name.
Beep back to Gary and to King.
Your mother's ring.
King Your Mother's Ring.
Or
Beep.
Your mother's ring.
Tonight on the MMA-Holes, we will be going for 2 swole hours, and that's right, we have a guest coming on, so stay tuned for that. Bringing him over to Holes Room. You can ask your questions away, and we're going to be going through a lot of topics. tonight. A lot of stories tonight. There is a fight week, UFC Germany, and let's go look at that card. Let's take a look. It's in a book. It's Reading Rainbow, right? You ready to sing, Jesse? I know you are. Butterfly in the sky.
I could go twice as high.
Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. Sing it.
I can do anywhere. A ways
Sing
to
along.
go.
Reading Rainbow. What?
I can do anything.
Oh, it's beautiful. Sing.
It's in a book.
A reading rainbow.
Reading rainbow. Reading rainbow. Reading rainbow. Reading
Wonderful.
That was beautiful. By the way, Sega Camp is in the chat right there. So look at that. Link in the description.
That
if you
was
wanna
for you, Sega.
Actually watch the acapella rendition. We got 20 likes.
20 likes, 20 likes, I've got fucking 20 likes, 20 likes, 20 likes, I've got fucking 20 likes, 20 likes, 20 likes.
I've got fucking 20 likes.
I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
Kill them dislikes. 2 people dying of leprosy, and here we go. Mauricio Shogun Rua versus Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith is guaranteeing a knockout, a knockout over Shogun. Oh, man, what a jump. Anthony Smith jumping in, knocking out Rashad Evans. And the fuck? My phone just started talking to me. That was creepy. Knocked out Rashad Evans in the prelims, retiring Rashad Evans. Anthony Smith, well, he's not known to be the smartest fighter of all time, but he does have that finishing power. Shogun, on the other hand, this guy's a goddamn legend. So we got a legend from Brazil fighting Anthony Smith from the U.S. Interesting fight over here. The second fight, the co-main event, Glover Teixeira, who is like, I'm back, motherfucker, versus Corey Nipples Anderson, who says, I am the new face of 205. Another interesting one. Glover, just when you think he's done, well, he comes back. He comes back again. And Corey Anderson is a formidable opponent. So we got a couple of fights on this card that have some juice. Tabora, this guy was rising up, kind of took a step back, and now is fighting Stefan Struve. Very tall versus a little fat. And yeah, check out this card. Not a bad card. A fight night. Mark DeCasey's back in the cage. A couple of things to look at over here. And we'll see what happens. Emil Meek coming back after his, shit show against, what was it? 30%. Mr. 30% the last time. Kamura Usman. So some stuff over here to look at on this card. Who will be hanging with the MMA-Holes as my computer's making noises? Who will hang out with the MMA-Holes on Sunday morning / afternoon or whatever time it is in the chat? Hit me with the unos. Jesse, will you be there?
I will be there.
Oh, there you go.
Will you be there?
Yeah, maybe. I'll see what happens. I'll check my schedule.
If you're not there, I'll still cover for you.
All right. So Jesse will cover for us. 11,960 subscribers. Our MMA-Holes looking to get to 12K. I believe by Sunday this will happen. Michael Anzalone, the Go Blue Dude, Drunk Savage, Allman Brothers, Von Chipman, Flat Earth, Pulse. You know what I noticed about Pulse? He never can give you a straight answer. You ever notice that? Pulse nightclub shooter, nice guy. You know,
he has
but
trust issues.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't blame him. We lit him on fire.
That's
it?
true.
So.
That is true. But fuck him in his wheelchair. No, we love you. Number says Steve Johnson and Sean Hart over there will be there. Penis says Gay Agent, and a penis would count
Beef
as
King.
That would count as a 1, right? A penis, because everyone has one penis. Well, most people have a penis. All right.
I have 2.
Jesse, this card. What do you think about this card? Are you excited getting up a little bit earlier for this card? What do you say about UFC Germany?
Germany?
You don't care.
That should be interesting.
Paul's got the wheelchair in the chat. So a good thing about the MMA-Holes, unlike other YouTube channels, we actually have handicap parking over here. Not many chat rooms have handicap parking, but
what does that mean?
The MMA-Holes, this chat room, we actually have handicap parking, and yes.
Wonderful.
Right? That's what we do.
Yes.
We have a couple of handicapped people in here.
Absolutely.
And we do that over here on the MMA Holes. So enjoy your handicapped section inside our chat room. The handicapped chat room. The great handicapped chat room on YouTube. Should we instead of the cringe chat, should we call it the greatest handicap chat room on YouTube?
The handy chat.
Handy chat room? Actually, handy chat works. Handy chat. Handy chat though sounds like everyone's getting hand jobs in the chat, right?
That too.
The handy chat.
It's for people with 2 penises.
PFL is tomorrow, and we will be covering that. The Spartan will be back in the cage. I met him during Premier FC. Real nice dude over there. And yeah, you know that I'm handicapped, bitch. This is T-Man.
No, you're not.
T-Man can fly, by the way. I bet you didn't know this.
Did you also know T-Man can turn invisible?
No, I didn't know about that.
I've seen it. The only thing that
Wait, hold on
cannot
a
turn
second.
invisible is his clothes and his penis.
You just said he can turn invisible. I've seen it. But if
No,
you've
like
seen
I've watched him just disappear.
Yeah, because I was going to say, if you've seen it, then how do you know you can't see invisible?
No, I can't see invisible, but I can see him as a solid figure turn invisible. But his penis and his clothes do not, so they still linger around.
Okay.
It's very odd.
Does it happen when it lingers? Does it happen? Does it happen? Does it happen when it... Topics! All right, topics. The MMA-Holes.com. Now, before we go into topics, I was thinking about doing this at home. We're going to play a game, okay? What's up, Cece? Says, yo, Holes.
What's up, Cece?
Handy fact. I like that, Gary. So what I'm thinking is this. We watch back some of our streams because sometimes we miss a lot of the peeps in the chat. We don't get to see you guys all the time because you guys go so fast and we can't read. So that's how that works.
He can't read. I don't like reading too.
You just snotted all over the microphone.
Oh, my
Yeah, I
apologies,
saw it.
microphone.
A little snot came out of the mic. It was so cute.
Sorry.
Here's
My
the deal.
apologies.
Now the microphone has AIDS.
I'm sorry,
Here's the
microphone.
deal, okay? We're going to play a little bit of a game. I know the chat room likes to smoke. I know the chat room likes to drink and indulge and partake in things and extracurricular activities while they're watching this show. So here's the deal. You ever hear of a drinking game, Jessie? Yes, she has.
A few.
Right?
I have heard of a few.
So here's the deal. Every time Jessie yawns, you do a shot and you do a toke. A shot or a toke or both. Because I've noticed this. In watching back our streams, we see a lot of...
I try to be as discreet as... I don't make noises. I try to be discreet. I don't make noises. I'm not like obnoxious
And she doesn't
about
even
it.
cover her mouth.
And I hide behind a microphone
Yeah.
so you can't see me.
It's
Or I'll
like-
wait until the screen flips.
We'll be like...
And then I'll yawn.
like
I don't
this
just do it in
weekend-
front of everybody. Maybe once or twice.
Oh, someone pull those clips. This weekend, we are trying to talk about Fight Night Germany.
I'm tired. I am tired. I'm tired.
It's a rough life. Still streaming. Actually, it is what the fuck? Did you just pull the whole show over to your side? Yeah, anyway. I was told this was a straight edge chat. What the fuck? Uh-oh. Misinformed. That's why she used to hide behind the mic. Is that why?
What?
By the way, show your mic. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this. That is her face on the mic. If you
Like Jessie on fire.
That is your face on the mic. Your skin is melting off into the mic.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Huh? What's that about? What's that about? Okay, what's in the topics? The MMAHoles.com. What do we got in the news? We spoke and opened up the show about Anderson the Spider Silva. Well, he's got a year's suspension, but that thing is winding down. Who will be his next fight? But we got some other things in the news. And Jessie, what do we got going on over here?
AJ McKee versus Pat Curran is booked for Bellator 205.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They're just booked for Bellator 205, just in case.
All right,
anybody
did I
wanted to
pass
know.
them? Where are they at? Here we go. AJ McKee versus Pat Curran. Now, AJ McKee is one of these Bellator rising stars, right? AJ, thank you, T-Man. We love you, too. AJ McKee is what they say, wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful,
Unfortunately, he beat our buddy Blair Tugman, but Blair Tugman fighting at CES 51, motherfuckers. So I can't wait to see Blair back into the cage. But AJ's in Bellator. AJ is, I think, still undefeated. and fighting a tough Pat Curran. Jessie, any care about this?
Nope.
Or no fucks given? I don't know. Well, rest in peace, Pat Curran. All right, so let's move on to the next topic over here on the MMA-Holes.com.
Nick Newell says that he believes he's facing either the biggest win or the worst loss in Contender Series history. This goes towards the idea that it took him forever to get into anything with the UFC because Dana White thinks it would look terrible for the UFC if a one-armed fighter was taken down in a gruesome fashion. So Nick Newell decided that he was going to not take no for an answer. He had the Ronda Rousey mentality. And he pushed and he said, if I can't get into the UFC for this, then at least give me the Contender Series. And that's exactly what Dana White did. But his opponent is very, very good. Nick Newell believes that the reason for this is because if Nick Newell can get past a tough opponent, then he's worth being in the UFC. He does not have a faulty record. His last loss was in 2014 against Justin Gaethje.
Nick Newell, the notorious Nick Newell, who was on the MMA Holes multiple times. And I would like to say friend of the show. Good guy, Nick. Man, 14-1 and 1.5 arms over here. A lot of people ask me, say, hey, Chris, hey, Mystic, should Nick Newell wear a glove on his arm? And I'm going to go with no. Because the more I think about it, it's really his elbow. And if you're allowed to hit with the elbow, even though it's like a weapon, it's still an elbow. So I think it would be fair to not put mittens on his arm over here. But you can tell he's starting to get sick of answering all the questions about the arm. When we had him on the show, we went there with the arm. We talked about sex with the arm and everything like that. And Nick is a good guy, but on top of being a good guy and a good sport, he's a damn good mixed martial artist. And this guy's ground game is slick as fuck. Interesting stuff. Does have a tough opponent from Alpha Male. And Nick Newell was on the MMA Hour with Luke Thomas this time around. What do you think, Jessie? Do you think he has a shot in this fight? Do you think he will win this fight?
I think he's a good fighter. I think he has the potential. So it's just a wait and see game.
Yeah, Nick Newell, real good guy. We are rooting for him. He is fighting next week on the Contender Series. Contender Series.
Wonderful.
And it is wonderful, wonderful. Now, why do they not have pictures? Why not have pictures? The Contender Series, they get a little lazy with this stuff. Blacked. Maybe the lights are still off at the Contender Series. How many people saw the lights off at the Contender Series? Our reaction video in the middle of the most boring fight on the card. The lights just went out, and I guess the lights are out on UFC.com. Alex Munoz is 4-0, so that is his opponent, and we will be talking about this in detail when we cover that fight. Tomorrow is PFL numero 4, and let's go, man. I'm pumped up for that. PFL is going to be some good stuff. Jessie, what do you think of the PFL so far?
I think it's good. Based on this is the first time I've ever seen the PFL. I think it's good. I think it's worth the watch. So
it definitely is. And some people out there don't know what the PFL is. It's the Premier Fighting League, the old World Series of Fighting. It's like a point system league. It's really good. It's really good. Now, there are some cringe moments, but, that's what makes it interesting, right? There are a lot of cringe moments at the PFL, but the production is top-notch. Some decent fighters. The greatest fighters, I don't know about that, but some decent fighters, decent matchups, and some gnarly finishes. So the PFL has been, in my book, wonderful, wonderful. What else do we have in the news, JBH?
Paulo Costa fires back at doping accusations from surfing legend Kelly Slater. So at UFC 226, Paulo Costa did fight, and he had another knockout victory when he stopped Uriah Hall in the second round. Kelly Slater then came back with a photo from UFC 226 saying, quote, didn't he get caught because he looked suspect in a photo after a fight? Costa makes Yoel's physique look almost attainable. If this guy ain't juiced, they shouldn't bother testing at all. Then Costa came back and said Kelly Slater talked too much, said stupid things. He doesn't understand how the anti-doping system works in the UFC. He doesn't know how USADA works, doesn't understand the USADA policy of testing any fighter at any moment, anywhere in the world, blood and urine. Since Paulo Costa has been in the UFC, he has been tested by USADA over, I don't even know No, it was over I can't remember. I think it was like 17 times it said. Regardless, it's been quite a few times, and every time Paulo Costa has been tested by USADA, he has come out negative. He has not popped for drugs once. He says that it is bothersome to him because people have a tendency to accuse fighters of doping up when in reality they're not touching drugs.
How is this man not on steroids, Jesse? Look at the fucking size of this man's arms. His biceps make Sage Northcutt's biceps look like baby arms. I mean, the definition inside this arm. Let's zoom a little closer. Let's get a little gay, friends. Right? All right, that didn't work. The letters got bigger, but his steroids didn't let me get the other picture bigger. But anyway, check this out. The definition in his shoulders. This man's throwing a punch to the rib cage over here. And God, is that the shot? Is that the liver shot over there that dropped Uriah?
I believe so.
I think it is, right? God damn. Look at, and his face has Lou Ferrigno testosterone face. Like he actually turned into Lou Ferrigno after this punch over here. This man is 100% on something. This is not natural. There's something. No. Usually I don't like to say, oh my God, yeah, he's on steroids. I don't like to say that, but in this case, how is he not? How do you get in this shape and not be on steroids? He doesn't look like a fucking human. An action figure would be jealous of his physique. You know? What do you think, Jesse? You think this guy's on steroids?
No, I don't. I think it's unfair for people to accuse fighters every time they turn around.
Well, listen, I don't accuse every fighter, but I'm accusing this man. This guy's on fucking steroids. Jay Smooth says he's not natural. Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? Is he on steroids? Yes or no? Jesus Christ. It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. I mean, and this is not even, let's see, Paulo Costa. We're going to look at other pictures of his cat. Paulo Costa. And regardless, the kid is a stud, right? Good-looking kid from Brazil, young. And this dude is flying up the rankings. Here's him with frosted tips. Fucking rips. Let's see. What do we got here? Look at his shot. Look at this fucking shot over here. Look at the size of this man's bicep. That's not fucking... It doesn't even look... Jesse.
What?
What the fuck? That's not a bicep. That's like an alien pod that's going to explode with a million alien babies. It's like in Gremlins when you feed him after midnight. They fed his bicep after midnight, and it's about to explode with a bunch of gargoyle-y gremlins over here. That is natural?
Yes.
I don't know. He has some punch face. It's like when guys play guitar, they have that weird face. That's his punch face. Imagine what he looks like when he comes.
Wonderful.
All right. Brazilian meat stuffed with canola sauce. John Jones energy drink. Hashtag Jones Life. I see what you did, Gary. Frosted tips equals power. Only natty in Brazil. He takes warlord medication. Warlord. It's a thicep. Yeah, it's a thicep. God damn it. For fuck's sake, look at the size of this guy's arms. How would you know JBH is Jared Smallbone? She knows it all, right?
I know everything.
How would you know, JBH?
I don't know.
She's going on a hunch. Well, I guess her hunch is, well, if he's pissed clean, then he's fine, right? Yeah. Tiger Milk will do that along with Kangaroo Burgers, is Vanship Man. Second coming of Vitor. God damn. Post USADA, right? And this guy looks like this. I kind of hope he's not on steroids, because that'd be fascinating. If this man found, the way to look like you're roided up, have the power of being roided up, and to beat the system. So I hope he is clean. He's young. He's exciting. And hopefully this guy can rise up the rankings clean. But I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. Now, do you want to see him versus Adesanya or Weidman, Jesse? What do you want to see?
Adesanya.
Adesanya, so the style bender. So young versus young. I kind of want to see him against Chris Weidman. I don't think Weidman's not going to take the fight.
Not a big Chris Weidman fan.
But all right, so if you're not a big fan, wouldn't you want to see this kid come up there and knock him out?
No, I don't want to see him fight at all.
You don't want to see Chris Weidman fight?
No.
So when Chris Weidman beat Anderson Silva twice in crazy fashion. That means nothing to you.
No.
Chris Weidman beat Kelvin Gastelum, who was going for a title. Means nothing to you.
No.
Do you not like his Long Island accent?
I don't like his Long Island accent.
Ah. You want to see this man Costa with the bulging biceps. Who would you like to see? I mean, listen, I would like to see Weidman. I don't think it's quite fair, but we've seen crazier fights. Let's see what the chat says. The game has passed Weidman by. I'm with Jess. But you can make an argument that Chris Weidman beat Kelvin Gastelum and finished him. So that's something to think about. I'm not a Weidman fan either, says Isaiah Moore. Steve Johnson, it's no wonder he's dead. Dude took so many needles in the ass. At one point, he couldn't take any more. I'm good on Weidman also, says the Go Blue Dude. Harvey, you know what? And here's the thing with Chris Weidman. I could see people frustrated with Weidman because he keeps on getting injured. He's not healthy. He's kind of a complainer, right? He feels that he's owed something. So I can see that aspect of Chris Weidman. But when it comes to rankings, and the guy defended the belt multiple times and beat arguably the greatest fighter of all time twice, he actually dethroned one of the greatest runs in middleweight history. It's so funny how MMA fans are so fickle. Now, maybe you don't like Weidman as a person, and all right, I can't argue that. Some people don't like certain fights. That's cool. But when you look at what Chris Weidman did, this is the reason why I feel that Dana White gives him a little bit of a longer leash because of his history, how he came up undefeated, took out one of the greatest fighters of all time who happened to be on steroids, you know. But people forget, you know, it's all about your last fight. His last fight he beat Kelvin Gastelum. So, I don't know, but I can understand he's not active enough, and people are like, been there, done that. But if you look back at what he's done, you know, maybe. He made a mistake against Luke Rockhold, right? He made a mistake. He did that fucking weird wheel kick or whatever the fuck he was doing, and he got caught. And what happened with Yoel Romero? He was winning that fight, in my opinion. He went in for a shoot and ate a soldier of God.
Blood. Fucking army to come take them belts off me.
Chris Weidman got lucky in both Silva fight and was on a 3-fight losing streak prior to beating Kelvin. Suspect win.
All right.
Overrated.
All right, so here we go. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate, and thank you very much, Vlad, for the donation. Chris Weidman on a 3-fight losing streak. Luke Rockhold, which I just explained was a mistake in the fight. He made a mistake and got caught. You have Yoel Romero, comes in for a shoot and gets cracked by the knee and could have won that fight. All right, he was winning, in my opinion. And now you have Gegard Mousasi, controversy, but I believe they got that decision right. Oh, wait, hold on. Gegard Mousasi is the champ in Bellator. So you got 3 guys that are studs that beat Chris Weidman and 3 controversial, not controversial, but, you know, questionable, 2 controversial and you know, 1 questionable decision by Chris Weidman. So do you call him unlucky? Or, I mean, I don't know. And you can't say he's lucky with Anderson Silva. First of all, the second fight, he checked the kick. He fucking checked it and broke his leg. So, I mean, oh my God, you got lucky for checking a kick? And then the first fight, Anderson Silva was being cocky as fuck. What happened when Anderson Silva was cocky as fuck with the other fights? Well, Anderson wound up finishing those fights. But what did Chris Weidman do? Nah, I'm going to knock him out. I don't know. You can't discredit Chris Weidman's run. You can say you don't like the guy. I'm down with that. You can say you don't like the guy, but to discredit the run and then defending the belts, I think he has all the recipes of someone that had a fantastic run. And who knows? Maybe he can do it again. He beat Kelvin Gastelum. If Kelvin Gastelum, by some crazy chance, beats Robert Whittaker, what do we do? Chris Weidman, Gastelum too? And you will see Chris Weidman as champ again. It's that simple. It is that simple. Let's see what the chat says. I just accredited him. LOL, he sucks. Well, all right. Let's see. Steve Johnson, I'm surprised Hook didn't get murdered bruiser body style. He had neck surgery, says Stanley Moon. Chris Weidman, a housewife, his best ever. The Spider Silva was Groose. Spider was cleared by USADA, says Pulse Reload, resurrected. And he will be back in what, November, Jesse?
Yes.
Chris, he's still my boy, Moss. Now his father, it's a whole nother story. And maybe people don't like Weidman because of his father, you know? Or maybe he just doesn't like him. And this is another thing with Weidman, too. You see him at, like, the UFC facility with all the Long Island guys, and he could be a little obnoxious, right? So I get it. So can I.
Most New Yorkers are. No hit. No
Burn.
hit, yeah.
Burn. Fire in her eyes. The Mexican came out to play. All right, what else we got in the news? Remember, we have a special guest coming on. Caleb Hall live with the MMA-Holes. Check out the MMA-Holes.com for the news. Jessie, what else we got?
Paul Daly agrees to
suck the roster of Bellator? Oh, no, okay, good.
Terms on a new Bellator deal and wants Michael Page for his next fight. He says he wants Michael Page, but it is also his manager, Ali Abdelaziz.
He's an Ali guy too?
Yes. So
Jesus
he told
Christ.
MMA Fighting that in no uncertain terms, Page is the fight Semtex wants next, which means Daly would have to become the 10th entrant for Bellator's 10-man welterweight bracket. So Daly, who is 40-16-2, is now targeting a matchup against Michael Page, who is his long-awaited arrival.
Yeah, a lot of people were looking forward to Michael Page versus Daly. Venom says that he don't give a fuck if Daly gets into this welterweight tournament. And I say with the Grand Prix, I think it's wonderful. I like this Grand Prix shit. And now the Bellator tournament is going to be going with the welterweights. Love it. So now Paul Daly. Now, the thing is, Rory McDonald is going over to fight Gegard Mousasi. So what happens? Is there a vacated belt with this welterweight tournament? I haven't really looked much into it, but I love the idea of a welterweight tournament. But now, what is the outcome of this thing? Do you have any idea?
The current tournament lineup includes Michael Page, Rory McDonald, Douglas Lima, Andrei Koreshkov, Lorenz Larkin, Ed Ruth. It doesn't say anything about...
Does anyone win a belt at the end, or are they just like high five at the end? How does this work?
Wednesday's outcome is one that seemed unlikely. Okay, blah, blah, blah.
I wonder what the deal is with this welterweight tournament. Let me know in the chat if you guys know. I mean, we should do research on this, but we're too lazy. You know, this is like we got to sleep. You know, sometimes we opt to sleep over research our articles. But the welterweight tournament, I think, is a great idea. It would be nice to see Paul Daly versus Michael Venom Page, but honestly, I don't care if it happens. I don't need it anymore. It was cool at one point, but I'm not like, I really give a fuck. Paul Daly still got it. Is he the greatest? No. But he's still got that finishing power, so it'd be fun to watch. But who cares, right? Daly versus Page. I'm kind of over it, right?
I'm a fan of Michael Page, so...
But versus Paul Daly. Do you like... I mean, they have this bickering back and forth. Do you want to see that fight?
Yeah, why not? A fight is a fight, right?
It sure is. You know, like the great Jessie Bell Hill said, a fight is a fight. Why not?
I thought you were gonna laugh first.
All right. So, what do you guys think? Do you give a fuck about the the welterweight Grand Prix? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. I like it. Who's in the welterweight tourney? Jesse just said. Just want to see MVP against someone who isn't a can, says Drunk Savage. And he's got some opponents in this one. Me too, says Van Shipman. JBH is in a mood tonight again, says Brando. Harvey Weinstein says, Daly yelled, fuck Bellator during a live fight, and it made it on air. And Harvey, that was so fucking great. He was losing the fight. He was getting humped and grinded. And he looks over, he's like, fuck Bellator. But that was supposed to be British. But anyway, Paul Daly was yelling, fuck Bellator. It was fantastic. I loved it. And Bellator's still like, you can fight for us. You know, the UFC is a different story. It's like, get the fuck out of here. But Bellator's like, yeah. Grand Prix, I don't fook about MMA anymore, says Isaiah Moore. Grand Prix will end up bombing when someone gets injured. And yeah, no one's really got injured yet, right? With the Grand Prix. A lot of beeps in the chat from King's Your Mother's Ring. Steve Johnson says, Kenshiro, I'm from the land of the race, literally by name. Daly is dumb for not working on his ground while fighting under MMA rules. Could you imagine, Jay, that Paul Daly, if he actually well-rounded it, like, he would be a fucking beast. The guy's got pop. But yeah, his ground game is...
Why are you so annoying? I don't get it.
She smiled.
It's so annoying. It is so annoying.
I'm not touching you, little face. I'm not touching little face. Okay, anyway, what else have we got in the news over here? Remember, our guest will be coming on very shortly. What else do we have? We have a lot of news tonight, Jessie. Man, oh man, we have to talk about the fights this weekend that we just did. We have to open up some phone lines. And what else we got over there?
8 bouts have been confirmed for UFC 228, including KK versus Jessica Andrade. UFC 228 is just 2 months away. It is set for September.
Hold on a second. Isaiah Moore is putting more pictures in. But Isaiah Moore, you need to take a picture with no shadowing, okay? I've been there. I've done that. So let's get more no shadowing next time. And why are your nipples sideways? All right.
Wonderful.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. His nipples, they're sideways. So what do we got? This 8-man. What are we talking about here, Jesse?
Okay.
I just got fucking distracted by a sideways nipple.
There have been 8 bouts confirmed for UFC 228. KK versus Jessica Andrade is one of them. KK and Andrade both fell short in their attempts for the title against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, but they have maintained very high rankings. Therefore, this could be a very good fight. KK went on to win decisions over Jodie Esquibel and Felice Herrig, and Andrade claimed back-to-back decision wins against Gedalia and Tisha Torres. So, I mean, it's the perfect matchup when you think about it. I mean, and the winner of this, I have no doubt, would go for the title. So,
Nicco Montano finally is fighting UFC 228 versus Valentina, and I don't care.
Wrong one.
Wait, hold on a second. Is that what you're talking about? UFC 228? No?
Yeah. Well, it's okay. You can do that one, too.
Wait, well, hold on. What are we talking about here?
There's another one.
Is it on the message board? What the fuck is it? Oh, this one here? 8 bouts. There it is, the first one. All right, so there we go.
This is how we know. He listens to what the articles are
I heard
about.
UFC 228, and I found
KK
that. KK
versus Jessica Andrade is Valentina Shevchenko versus Nicco Montano.
All right, so 8 bouts confirmed. Okay, that's great. UFC 228, we got this. Well, if this versus Andrade, it's a good fight. Like, usually you can look at these fights and you can sway in a direction, right? In this fight over here, I don't know. Like, Kowalkiewicz, like, you never know which one you're going to get anymore. There was a time where she was, like, unbeatable. And then she's been up and down, and you don't know which one's going to show up. Jessica Andrade is another one who can run you over and then just look meh. So I think it's a fascinating fight, this fight over here. What else do we have on this card? UFC 228. John Dodson versus Carla Esparza. No. Oh, sorry. They're about the same height, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And who do you have in the chat?
Nicco Montano, Valentina Shevchenko, KK versus Jessica Andrade, Carla Esparza versus Tatiana Suarez, Aljamain Sterling versus Cody Stamann, John Dodson versus Jimmy Rivera, Rodriguez versus Zabit Magomed-Sharipov, Ryan Benoit versus Roberto Sanchez, Charles Bird versus Darren Stewart, and Jeff Neal versus Frank Camacho.
Yeah, so UFC.com has not updated over here, but, you know, I was trying to take a peek, trying to take a little peek. Aljamain Sterling back, and they're not getting the Dominic Cruz fight, and he's got a tough one on his hands over there. So there we go, Aljamain Sterling, bantamweight 1530s, Cody Stamann, who's friends with Kobe's Corner. Link in the description for Kobe's Corner. So how about that? All right, so before we go on in the news, and UFC 228 looks interesting. UFC 227 coming together over here. It doesn't look like we're really going to see much more on this card. but it's coming out okay. It's coming out. We're going to talk about that as that gets a little bit closer. This weekend, we do have a fight, and it is Shogun versus Anthony Smith. But I want to walk over here for a second. Now, we have friends of the show called Flock Fights. Flock Fights, they sent us a video of their fighting skills. And yes, there is another video from Flock Fights. Now, I was calling them fluke fights before. Fluke fights. I was calling them fluke fights before. But now it's called Flock Fights. So let's check this out over here. I'm going to slide into my DMs. Okay. Now, I showed this before. And this is another one. Okay. So let's see. What's up, brother? This video, me and Dan follow up from our last one and show techniques that can work against a much bigger opponent. All right, guys. You ready to learn some self-defense techniques from Flock Fights? Hit me with the eggplants in the chat. Jesse, are you pumped up to see this?
Super pumped.
All right, here we go. All the way from Holland. Whoops, fuck me. Oh, Jesus Christ, I went a little too big on that one. All righty. I just fucking got real AIDSy. Let's go like this. There we go. All right. What the fuck?
Go down. Go down.
Oh, my God. I've lost it. There we are. Okay. This is really working out well. All right. So this is the best we're going to get. And go follow them at Fluke or Flock Fights. All right, Jesse, you ready for this? We're going to learn some techniques from Flock Fights. You pumped?
Super pumped.
Don't act too pumped. All right, here we go.
Do now is movement, footwork.
All right, so here's some footwork, right? So here we're going to learn.
Footwork. Right, go back. Fly your knee.
Whoa! My God, the airtime with the flying knee. Let's look at that one again.
Fucking hell. Punches. Headbutt.
Oh, coming in with the headbutt. Not only does the flying knee come in, but then you got the headbutt coming in. I mean, this is insane stuff. Let's watch it again.
Fucking hell. Punches. Headbutt.
Oh, shit. Have you ever seen a headbutt executed so perfectly before, Jesse?
Never.
Never?
Never.
I mean, I tell you what, if someone came at me with a headbutt like that, I would definitely back down.
Shoulder roll.
Look at the size. Look at the size of this guy over here. It's a big boy.
Why? Go to town on him from that angle. Why?
All right. Very impressive. All right, let's watch in slow motion.
So here we go then. Yeah, I'm just using my movement to confuse him and to stay on my toes. There's the step. I create the angle and blow up his guts. By the time he gets his head turned, bam, I decapitate him.
So now you know, if a big boy comes your way and they showed you in slow motion how you can decapitate your big opponent.
On the floor again, glass jaw. Here we see it from another angle. The Dan cam. Here I am again. 1 minute I'm there, the next I'm not. I'm like a ghost. But I certainly am not fucking friendly. Boom. That is the last thing you see before you go to sleep.
Look at this. The look of content on his face as he took his fat opponent down. So it was good that he showed another angle because you could see where the aggressor is coming in. Unbelievable stuff over here.
What's the best striking tool? Kick? Huh? Kick? It is, yeah. It is a kick, yeah, he's right. Boom! Boom! Boom!
Oh my God. Now, I can't believe the technique on this guy. Here we go again in slow motion. The best part. Oh shit! I just went too far. Anyway, I think we saw enough. So the best part is they actually sent me this, and they the first time it worked well. The second time, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the chat. Do you want to see more Flock Fights self-defense videos over here? I mean, I think it's very informative. I noticed that Joe Rogan play some videos on his Instagram and say, this is how you not do things. But this is, I think, how you do self-defense, right? I mean, looking at those moves over there, I feel that I know more. Jessie, how do you feel more confident now?
I would watch every one of Fluke fights. Flock. Why is it spelled Fluke?
Now, that's a good question. We got to ask my friends from Wales. Why is Flook? Why is it pronounced flock fights? But yeah, apparently it is flock fights.
Okay, flock fights. I would watch every single video in order to become 100% proficient in the sport of mixed martial arts.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
I feel very, very safe now. Newton, gayer than a fake fight, says Brian Royer. Hop in, throw, fat suit. Always shout boom when you punch. And that is true, Stanley Moon. I think we all know that already. Let's see. There's no way I can take this seriously. Hello to everyone in the chat, says Ann H. Jessie's face says it all.
Thank you, Drunk Savage.
It usually does, right?
Yes.
You don't have to say anything. Just look at the face. It's saying something.
It's always saying something.
Flock fights versus the dude from Johnny Rockets. This is Louis Serrano. What's up, Louis? By the way, I got to call you back, Louis. Louis. We have some stuff to talk about. And I didn't know Blair Tugman is on your card over there. I gave him a good luck on IG. So, CES 51, motherfuckers. All right, so our guests will be coming on very shortly. And it should be wonderful, right? Caleb Hall. Now, let me give you a little backstory before we get our friend on here. This is Caleb Hall. He was fighting Ryan Jarena. Ryan Jarena was on the Monday show. They both were the main event for Triton fights. There was some stuff said back and forth. And I want to get Caleb's side of the story. I think it's only fair. You can't just hear one side of the story. So we got the champs side. Now we have the challenger side. And in a couple of minutes, he will be joining us. So stay tuned for that. Now, Jessie, what do you think about that? You met him at the after party. What do you think about both sides of the story, and who do you side with?
I don't side with either of them. They both have very similar, very similar perspectives on the story. It's just two different views on whether it was right or wrong. They neither of them lied about it. They both said the same thing. As far as what was said, I think as the winner of the fight, you're going to look at it differently than the loser of the fight because, you took an opportunity. And that's exactly what Jarena did. He took an opportunity. So I think he looks at it as not doing anything wrong. Maybe Caleb Hall just sees it as a disadvantage that was put towards him for no reason because he lost. I don't know.
Well, we're going to find out in a couple of minutes. And Jessie, you bringing the fire tonight. We got 20 likes. 20 likes.
I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes. 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes. 20 likes.
I've got fucking 20 likes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and speak of the devil, we have a friend on the show, and here he is, Caleb Hall. Welcome to the MMA-Holes. What's up, my man?
Hey, how we doing?
We're doing good. We were just giving actually the backstory to a little bit of what we spoke about at the after party, right over there at Triton Fights number 8. And it's good to see you here on the show. Thanks for coming on. And Caleb, how are you tonight?
Good. I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We are wonderful, right, Jessie?
Wonderful.
Always
wonderful over here. Now, Caleb Hall is a fighter. He did fight at Triton Fights number 8. Didn't go his way, but it is okay. It's okay. We forgive you, Caleb. It's fine. Everything's going to be fine. Tonight, we are doing a Swole Wednesday show. We have a live chat going on with a lot of cringiness. If you hear a noise, that could be a donation, so don't be worried. But they like to interrupt shows, so beware of that. Caleb, maybe if you could give us a little backstory. I noticed you have American Top Team, it looks like, on your shirt over there. Is that what you train?
Yeah. Yes, I do. American Top Team Watertown.
Nice. Good stuff over there. Now, same logo as the infamous logo that we've seen all over the UFC over there. Do you guys deal with trainers from American Top Team in Florida? Do they bounce around, or how's that work?
Yeah, so the owner of the American Top Team in Florida is also the owner of the American Top Team in town. Mark is one guy. He trains over there at Top. Yeah, he comes over often and coaches. But we actually just had Den Thomas, which is he trains over there and coaches at Top Team in Florida, comes down. He comes down, also does seminars and whatnot. But yeah, they're both related.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah, we recognize him, a UFC fighter. We know he has a good backstory, and he also is on that reality show with Dana White, right? Matt Sarah. He seems like a funny guy. Is he funny in real life?
You know, he's real, like, if he'd be kind of like intimidating in real life.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he's pretty cool once you like get to talk to him. So he's a realist. He'll tell you how it is for sure. So
he did make mention. I can't remember where it was, but he did make mention where he was very hard on his students and he really pushes them as far as he can. How do you feel like if a trainer comes in there and pushes you to the limit? Do you feel that benefits you as a fighter?
Yeah. And I honestly, until I started going top team, I didn't get that at the other gyms I was at. And it's took me to the next level for sure. Just like every day, like it seems like every day is like they tell you what you do good, but they really emphasize what you did wrong that you need to fix. So they don't get caught in your head that you're this good at this, but truthfully you're not. Like this past fight with Ryan, coach came in and he told me, he's like, I got the matchup. Chris approached my coach. He didn't even approach me. He talked to him. And he's like, I want Hall to fight Ryan. And he's like, I'm gonna be honest, like your wrestling sucks. He's like, so we're gonna spend next 6 weeks rather, and we're gonna work straight wrestling. I threw little to no punches during this fight camp. Because I my opinion, I mean, my striking it's just diverse. It's all around as well. But yeah, so we spent like 6 straight weeks wrestling. He was, I was very humbled during this fight camp.
Sure.
Had a lot of good guys in wrestling with me. I was on my back a lot.
Well, I got,
and even for the fight, it didn't pay off as well as I wanted it to, but I was actually happy with the progress I had made.
So since we're talking about that, that was the main event, Triton Fights number 8. You were going into hostile territory because it looked like it was a Ryan Jarena spot. The Triton Fights is a big, with Ryan Jarena, the reality show, all this stuff. How is it getting into that cage? You look to me not nervous at all. Right? Sitting there, it looked like you were fine. Now, going through this fight, it was a close fight. On the feet, to me, it looked like you might have won the exchanges on the feet. You did some damage there. You were very slick in your striking, and Ryan decided to make it a more grinding, grueling, let's get to the floor and play there. A couple of things. When we had Ryan on, we had him explain his side of the story, where there was 2 instances in the cage, and I'm fascinated by this because this is inside stuff. A lot of times you see this happen in high-level, low-level organizations. Fighters talk to each other in there, but you never know what they say. 2 times this happened. In the beginning, what did Ryan say? Ryan was saying basically he asked you for a favor, correct? Maybe if you could explain what happened.
Right. No. Yeah. So what happened was he had me against the cage. We were kind of clinched up, but I had I'll call out the dominant position for the cage because I had an arm across his shoulder, kind of across his neck, not quite across face, but almost. It's a real stalemate position to be in, especially for both fighters. I'm not in any damage. It's hard for him to inflict any type of damage. I think we both landed a couple of knees in there, but he was pretty much just like, "Hey, let's break it." He was like, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't sure why. I hate I don't hate wrestling. I'm a striker. I love to, you know what I'm saying? I love to stay. I was like, all right, cool. We can break it. So we broke the exchange. Second time, so I think the second round, he took me to the ground. I think I overextended on a right hand and I ended up on my back. I was like, oh, I put it on the feet. He's like, hey, I got to do what I got to do. Which is pretty much, I understand where he's coming from, he would not have beat me on the feet. You look at my face now, and I saw his face on the show on Monday, and who looks like they got into a fight on Friday night. You know what I'm saying? So I understand where he's coming from, where he wanted to take it to the ground, and it's a fight. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? You oppose where you're at. Khabib Nurmagomedov, you know what I'm saying? That's how he wins. He's a grinder. He takes people where they don't want to be. I do not want to be on the ground when you fight me. That's not my spot. But yeah, pretty much I was like, hey, I thought you want to keep it on the feet. He's like, I got to do what I got to do. And I was like, all right, I respect that.
Showing some of your,
kept going.
We're showing some of your Instagram right now, and yeah, the kicks are landing up high. You seem to be landing your shots. Ryan did the smart move, right, and played the game the way he had to play the game in this fight. Is there anything you would have done differently in this fight?
I wish there were more rounds for sure. I think 2 more rounds would have been. I think that would have been in my favor. Honestly, I think there's times where it could have been more. His back. I'll take my arm off, get it up on his back, and I should have let him up. From there, I should have composed myself. In my head, I was like, I'm just getting this back on my feet. And that's the real, that's the amateur coming out. Not seeing it as like an opportunity and I take. So yeah, I think that I would have definitely looked at that differently. I think I just would have thrown a little bit more when I thought I had him hurt. He just looked really confused at the beginning of the second round. Like he was like, shit, I did not think this was gonna go in the second round. He looked, I think he definitely, I was underestimated for sure. I feel like definitely was underestimated, but I was okay with that. So yeah, but I definitely I would have tried to close out.
It's interesting you say that going into extra rounds over there. That would have been an interesting fight to see because, there were some dominant positions. There was a lot of exchanges, but you did do a lot of damage. And it would have been interesting to see it go a little bit further over there. So do you think rematch down the road?
Oh, I told him, actually, I got with him after the fight, just doing his thing. I told him, I was like, hey, I'm going to fight you again, whether it be in Bellator or the UFC. I was like, I'm going to see you again for sure. I didn't feel like, I didn't feel like, I don't think rematches should be a thing. An amateur about you made a mistake, and you corrected it for the future, for right away, just to say, oh, okay, I beat it. For me, it's that. It's like, I know Ryan belt. He wants all the belts or whatever, and amateur. I know a lot of amateurs like that. For me, that doesn't matter either. I don't care about a belt. It's very temporary for my future goal, just to be pro. So.
And so your record looks very impressive, but let's talk about this over here. There's a little bit of controversy. Triton Fights had you as 5 wins and 1 loss, and then you were 8 wins and 1 loss, and I see on the Instagram it is 8-2. Explain what is the confusion over here with the record.
Yeah, I'm not sure with on Tapology. I realized that I had my stuff messed up a couple of times. They had me losing some. I didn't lose, and I had to call. And I don't remember the stuff, but my friend first fight was for Bellator, and they lose previous fights. Fights for Bellator, so I was like, okay. So I called actions, but some of my fights though I think they weren't recorded. My first 3 fights were for a promotion called Hard Knocks MMA.
Okay.
And I don't believe those were recorded. On any social media record or whatever. That was back in 2014. So I think my first fight that was recorded was I think Chad. First that was recorded on Tapology.
Are you far from a router or something like that? Your internet's going a little bit in and out. It sounds a little bit like ET Speak and Spell.
Is that better?
Let's see. All right. It looks like it's better. Okay, I think we are better. I'm not sure what you did, but it's like magic. All right, so Caleb Hole live on the MMA-Holes. 8-2 AMI fighter fought Ryan Jarena for the title fight, for the belts, for the strap at Triton Fights number 8. Didn't go your way, but it is what it is. Like you said, it's an AMI fight. It's only your 2nd loss. And you said you had visions on going pro, and you are training with some killers over here. So what is the plan after this? How do you bounce back from a fight like this? And what is your plan going into the future?
I felt like we figured if I were to lose the fight, where I would lose it, and that's where I lost the fight at, was on the ground. So I think we're going to be in the wrestling room a lot more in the future. Just get better at striking, better than we already are at striking. And I think November, I'm looking to fight for Triton Fights one more time.
Okay.
Chris was put me to fight for him in November, so I was like, okay, I'll do that. But I think that might be my last amateur fight.
Okay, so November you're looking to go there. I know you have a fight. They just announced today that they have something coming up in September. Would you try to slip into that card? Or is that too early?
I think I honestly like to wrestle them a little bit more.
Okay.
To develop myself. I'm not looking to get fight after fight. I'm developing. I'm 21. So we'll see. But yeah, as of now, I think November is what I'm shooting for. So
only 21 years old with 10 fights under your belt. So if everything goes right, the next fight. So you're saying the next fight, if you get that win, then you will be definitely going pro. Could you make that guarantee?
I would say it's pretty solid guarantee.
Okay, there you go. All right, we have Caleb Hall live on the MMA-Holes. Impressive stand-up game over there, looking to round it out with the ground game. Now, how did you get into this sport?
Crazy. So I was watching a fight in Benson Henderson, and I was watching his fight with, who was he fighting? I believe it was Frankie Edgar for the first time. And I was like, I really want to do that. I was like, I feel like I can do that. So I found my local gym, started training. I kind of grew up in a bad neighborhood, so we had a boxing gym down the street, Tayo gym, actually, rather.
Mm-hmm.
There, started in. Then I was about 15 at that point. It kind of just amazed from there. A lot of people I was training with, they were already fighting. A couple guys that are in the UFC now, they were fighting at that gym. So I was like, I can do this. Went to amateur fights. First set I went to, I can beat these guys. Started harder when I turned 18. I took my first amateur fight in history.
Well, there you go. It was breaking up in and out, but we pretty much got what you said over there. I don't know what maybe it's an internet issue. I have no idea what's going on over here, but it is chopping in and out. Are you on Wi-Fi? Or are you on data right now, or?
Might be. I'm on my iPad, so it might be the data.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, maybe if I don't know, switch it over to Wi-Fi. See if that works. If you buy a router, so we can. We're pretty much hearing what he says for the most part. We're getting the gist.
Yeah.
Right? You can go translating in internet connection over here. Let's see what the chat says. He gave him a call, and let's see what else we got over here. His interview at 30% says Isaiah Moore. Internet issues, Isaiah Moore. I think we should be good. Let's see. Do you have it on Wi-Fi right now? Oh.
Yeah, connected. It should be good.
Okay, let's see.
Better.
Okay, so not so much. Say, give me the ABCs. And I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. The internet it's a little choppy right now. Listen, we can get you back on the show, Caleb, as this thing is completely falling apart. There we go. Give us some last thoughts and some shout outs to any sponsors or anything like that. And then maybe if we can get you at a better internet reception, we can bring you back on for a proper interview again. Thank you for coming on. But what do you got to shout out?
I just like to say shout out to my sponsors from Ontario Cryotherapy in here, Watertown, and also Watertown Nutrition. So, yeah, and then if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I'm at Caleb H11, and same thing on Twitter. So.
All right, there you go. At Caleb HA11. We will definitely give you a follow over there. Give him a follow on IG. We'll get you back on. We'll see you at the next Triton event that you're fighting at, I'm sure. And good luck in the future. Talk to you soon, man.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Caleb Hall coming on. Yeah, that was so autistic. Go give him a follow. I kind of wanted to hear. I think we had the gist of what he said with the interaction with Ryan Jarena at the main event over there. It's interesting stuff. Not much dirt. He gave respect to his opponent. He's going to brush off the loss, and he's going to move on, fighting an American top team. And he mentioned Dwayne Ludwig the last time I spoke to him. Unfortunately, we couldn't hear everything about him. But, Jesse, what do you think about this guy? I mean, I think he has he's only 21 years old, has a good head on his shoulders, has already 10 AMI fights under his belt. Do you think that he will go pro soon, and will he be anything in the future?
I don't see why he wouldn't go pro soon. We got to meet him during the after party of the Triton Fights 8 event, and he seemed like he was focused. He seemed like he knew where he wanted to go and what he wanted to do. So I have high hopes for him. I have high hopes for both of them. I think they can both make it if they stay headstrong and determined in what they want to do.
That's one thing about these guys. Him and Ryan, both fighters are super humbled, super nice kids, and they're hungry, right? They're super hungry. You can tell that they have that fire. They want to get this going. This means everything to them. So I got a lot of respect for these young guys just trying to get in there and just make it, give it a shot. A lot of people, a lot of us like horse around over here and joke and goof and spoof about all these fighters and be like, oh, this guy sucks, that guy's a can. But none of us really go into the cage and give it a shot, give it a go. So respect to these fighters, and hopefully these guys can turn out to be something special. And hopefully these guys get a better internet connection, because that was like cricket, right? That was this cricket, or what was it, Boost Mobile? What do you think he had over there?
No idea.
What do you call a deer? A deer with no eyes.
No idea.
That's right. And no idea. All right, here we go. Anything else in the news? We're going to open up the phone lines. TGIW. Let's bring this up a notch over here. Let me know what you think about Caleb. Don't bring him back.
Wonderful.
In fairness, he had bad internet, but yeah, we got to give him a shot. Stay tuned for more. This is like 2 for 2 with bad internet. Ryan's was a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, Ryan's, we could understand what he was saying. He wasn't cutting out that much.
It reminded me of, and this is definitely before your time, E.T. Speak and Spell. You ever hear of E.T. Speak and Spell?
Yes.
You did. All right,
Yes.
that's what it reminded me of. It's like glory ho. Forehead got them on a World War I army rations. Yeah, maybe Forehead is throttling back their internet. You know, maybe that's what's going on there. Maybe we gotta talk to Chris Machi and say, hey, buddy, listen, when you get your fighters on this show, make sure they have a nice, clean internet connection so we can actually properly introduce them to the world. But hopefully we can get them both on and get some better connection. All right, so Jesse, what do we got in the news? We're going to finish up the news, take some phone calls. A lot of stuff going on tonight in the news on the MMA-Holes.com. We are live on the MMA-Holes.com. Check it out over here. We also have a sponsor section, and stay tuned for that if you guys want to support the show in any way. There is a link in the description. Drop in a dono, drop in a super chat, and there's Anderson Silva taking a shit.
Go to the top.
Go to the top.
There
Here?
it is.
Yeah, that's right. Look at this. Ba-bada bing ba-boom. Sponsor section. Shout out to JBH. So if you guys want to sponsor the show, there's a way to become a sponsor. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for the moment where someone's like, yeah, I'll sponsor the show. And it's just like a dildo. Like a dildo. It's just, they just want a logo of the dildo. It's just worth it for them to drop the money in and be like, yeah, I just want that dildo on the show. And we have to be like, shout out to the dildo. But
Wonderful.
you got to pay the bills. All right, Jesse, what else is in the news?
Nicco Montano has her first title of defense scheduled against Valentina Shevchenko for UFC 228. Valentina Shevchenko has been calling out Nicco Montano for a very long time now, saying that if Nicco wants to keep the belt, she needs to defend the belt. So after a long wait, Nicco Montano is now set to defend the flyweight title. UFC 228 is to take place in Dallas on September 8th. And the promotion was officially announced on Wednesday, so we will be seeing more of that as time goes on until September.
And before we get going with that, I see Jay Smooth dropping in the chat. M1 Global will now provide juice Russians to the UFC, and that's right. M1 has collided with the UFC, so here we go. Bring in the Khabibs to the organization. That's interesting stuff over there. Let me know your thoughts on that. But before we get going on this topic, Jesse, a farm system of Russians, killers, coming into the UFC. That's going to be something else. That will be something else. We've seen a lot of Russians come in there and make some waves, and I'm looking forward to see the next batch. So that's some cool stuff. Nicco Montano. Now, okay, I didn't watch this Ultimate Fighter, nor did I care about this Ultimate Fighter, but she is the champ, right? She is the champ, and now they're going to hand her a Valentina Shevchenko. All right? Why do I not care about this?
I don't think very many people do care about this. Nicco Montano has been injured several times, which is why he's had to turn down Shevchenko in the past. So I think this is something that's been a long-awaited fight, but people expect it. It's bound to happen at some point. You might as well just wait for it to happen.
I like the lady fights. I do like the lady fights, but for some reason, I don't care about this. I don't know why. I just can't get up for this fight. Let me know in the chat if you're pumped up for this fight. But I don't care. I really don't I don't know why. It's really bizarre. Let's see what we got in the chat. Sorry, but no, not even Nicco Monsanto can beat Bullet. Gonna be murder. And I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm thinking that, and it's Montano, but I'm gonna have to think that Valentina's gonna wax the floor with her as well. Valentina's gonna scissor her to pieces. This Vanchip man. Women's MMA is dying. That's why, Moss. I mean, I don't think it's dying, but it's not handled properly, if you know what I mean. Jay Smooth is here. Why do Mexicans get injured all the time? Cruz, Velasquez. You know what? Both guys. Dominic Cruz. Well, I don't know. But I was going to say Tony Ferguson. Is he Mexican? I think he is Mexican, right?
I don't think so.
El Cucuy's not Mexican?
I don't know.
Or I think he's like a fake Mexican, right? I think the training, maybe they train too hard. They go too hard. Like Cain Velasquez is seen doing crazy shit while he's training, and he fucks himself up. He's been criticized in how he trains. And if El Cucuy is Mexican, which I think he is, I could be wrong, but I think he is, he trains like a moron. Dominic Cruz goes really hard, and he's falling apart. So I don't know. It's a good question. He is his Isaiah Moore. So there you go. It's another one. I know it's Montano, but I said Monsanto because Monsanto is genetically engineered. Ah!
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you. Kainoto, 74. His dad is Mexican. This is Vlad. So Vlad is conferred. Yes, he's fake Mexican. In other words, first generation American, but Mexican background. So that's like Jessie, right? I guess you could say you're the Tony Ferguson of the MMA Holes.
I am a fake Mexican.
All right. Round up Arelli. Kicking metal poles is crazy. Jeet outa he. Jessie, anything else in the news?
No, that is all.
All right. I think we should take some phone calls.
Sure.
Wind this thing down and get some coffee.
Yes.
You need some coffee?
I need a little bit of coffee.
You should get some coffee. Right? Go get some coffee for yourself. Would you like me to get you some coffee?
No, it's okay.
All right. Jessica's going to get some coffee, and I'm going to take some phone calls. We got 54 people watching. Thank you. TGIW. I think the World Series is on tonight, correct? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, so the World Series is on tonight. So it's one of those weird nights where we're just like, we don't know what's going on anymore. We're just live just for the fuck of it. Thank you for the donations. And if you missed our interview with Caleb, well, hopefully you could understand it. There was bad internet connections. Check out the MMAHoles.com. And we have a fight this weekend. Mauricio Rua versus Anthony Smith. It is a fight night. And it is wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
That's right. The MMAHoles.com, the message board, we got some topics. I want to know your thoughts on UFC 228. Paulo Costa, is he consuming the meat of the horse? AJ McKee versus Pat Curran, booked for a Bellator 205. Nick Newell fighting next week for the Contender Series. We have Montano versus Shevchenko 228. We have the Bellator welterweight Grand Prix. We have Anderson Silva, who is back from USADA. We have the sideways nipple of Isaiah Moore, and we have the top chatter over here, and that would be Steve Johnson, who is wonderful, wonderful. We're going to open up the phone lines right now at 516-522-0267. Give me a call. I'm lonely over here. We're going to go about a half hour more, and we're going to shut this shit down. We live tomorrow for PFL, and we are going fucking hard with the MMA. Whoa, they're calling in. Vanship Man, what's up, my man?
What's up, Chris? How you doing, man?
I am wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
How are you?
Right on. I wanted to talk about Anderson Silva coming back. I think they should have him and Nick Diaz fight again.
Run it back. You know, you're not the first person that said that. Anderson, the Spider Silva, not the most fun fight, but it would be an interesting fight to happen again, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're both old. Throw them in there and see what happens.
You think that Diaz will jump on the floor and do his centerfold poses again?
Holes! I think Nick Diaz, I mean, he's been out a long time, but those Diaz brothers, they're always training, man. I don't think he'd miss. I don't think there'd be a lot of ring rust there.
All right.
Those guys are, they're the real deal. So that'd be a good fight to see.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. All right. Thanks for the call, Von Shipman. Von Shipman calling in, wants to see Diaz, Silva, part 2. Let me know if you want to see that. I would like to see that because that fight was so ridiculous the first time around. Wasn't the greatest fight. In fact, it was like pulling your hair out watching. Did you see that fight where Nick Diaz is on the floor posing and he was taunting Anderson Silva and really nothing happened?
Is that the one where he had his hands behind his head and he was kind of like, yeah, I saw that one.
It was really AIDSy. But for some reason, I wouldn't mind seeing that again. I don't know why. Anderson Silva's 43 years old. Yeah, put him with a circus fight. Sure. So I'm going to go yes.
I'm not a Diaz fan. I don't like the Diaz brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So I could give a fuck, honestly.
Jesse, you don't give a fuck tonight.
I'm retardedly tired.
But what does retardedly tired mean? Like, retards usually aren't tired. You know? I've seen a lot of slow people. And they're not just, they usually have a lot of energy. So say that you're retardedly tired would mean that you have a lot of energy.
I'm an ironic retard. No, I'm a contradictory retard.
A contradicting retard.
Contradicting retard.
Okay, sure. Let's go. Next phone call over here at 516-522-0267. Getting on the lines. We got 30 minutes left in the show. Let me know what you think. Anderson Silva, who would you like to see him fight? He will be coming back. UFC 228. We have the ladies in the UFC 228. Paulo Costa with the horse meat. And 773, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
What's up, you bitch-ass hoe? Now, what I want to talk about was Brendan Schaub and Dana White beef. I just can't. Dana shouldn't even have said nothing to him because Brendan's going to be talking about this for 2 months straight. He's going to be using this to gossip and like a fucking homo with his tight pants on. I don't know. Schaub rose me the wrong way. Dana shouldn't even have gave him the ammo. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, a lot of people aren't fans, and thanks for the call, Brendan Schaub. They're not super Brendan Schaub fans. In fact, I think that Brendan handled this well, but then he did go a little long with it. Like, he had this whole long thing about it, and you saw the video, too, where he addressed the issue with Dana White, and it was just like this whole monologue. And it's like, okay, man, we get it. We got the first 5 minutes. You don't have to go 20 minutes into this thing now. You can move on. And he went on and on and on and on, and he made a good point in the beginning, but I think he kind of dragged it out too long. What do you think about Brendan Schaub and Dana White?
I think Brendan Schaub said it best. Dana White had no reason really to come after Brendan Schaub since Schaub didn't really say anything directly toward Dana White. I think it was a situation that was uncalled for, you know? I think it could have been avoided, and it wasn't. And I'm also, Brendan Schaub is like a mini Joe Rogan, so I can't really listen to him talk too much. And Dana White's got a whole bunch of deep dark secrets that we don't know about, you know. So you can't really have an opinion on it without leaning one way or the other, you know. So I just choose not to have an opinion on it.
Brendan Schaub was, in my opinion, I was Team Schaub in that thing, right? And it's easy to be Team Schaub because Dana White, I mean, you know, he's getting cringy, and Brendan Schaub called him like a lobster or some shit like that. So good for you, Brendan Schaub. But he went a little too long with it, and I understand he had some good stuff, so he's like, okay, let's run with this. But I think he went a little bit long with it. Now, if he was taking phone calls and they kept on asking him the same questions over and over again, I can understand why he would do that, but he wasn't. And he did it on his podcast. He did it with Brian Callen. It just kept on going and going. And it was just like, why we got to keep going with this? I thought you said you were going to put it at rest, and you just keep bringing it back up. So I don't know how I feel about that.
Super chat.
But I think he was right.
Thanks, Drunk Savage. #METOO.
Oh, my God. Me too, says Vanchip Man. Thanks, Drunk Savage. So I'm not sure what that's about over there. Jessie, how do you not like Diaz brothers? They're MMA legends.
They are. And I'm not, listen, they've done whatever they had to do to get their names on the papers, right? I don't like their personalities. There's something about both of them that is very, like, yeah, maybe they're good fighters, but there's just something about the personality that's very cringy. Like, I can't watch it. It's kind of like Brendan Schaub. I can't watch it too long.
I like Nate better than Nick, in my opinion. I like Nate better than Nick. I'm not a huge Nick guy. 443, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
Hey, Smooth. What up, Chris and Jesse?
What up,
Jay
Jay?
Smooth?
What's going on, man?
Hey, so I need to ask y'all about this shit because I can't help but smell suspicion. N1 Global's involved with the UFC. Here's why I don't like it. Number one, these two sides have done business in the past. Like when the UFC tried to bring in Fedor to fight Brock, this was like early 2000s. You know, things kind of fell apart because I think Fedor's people wanted more money or some shit like that. Like their terms were very suspicious and strict. Now, that's one reason to not trust Russians because they like to manipulate things to their favor. And let me give you some examples. the World Cup of soccer. I don't watch soccer, but I heard the Russians went suspiciously far in that tournament. And considering the fact that they were the host country of it, it makes it weird that suddenly they go from being bums that don't even make it to the, tournament stage to suddenly going all the way to the semifinals in 1 year. Okay, red flag number 2. There is a boxer by the name of Anthony Joshua. Obviously, you know who he is. He's going to be fighting a guy named Alexander Povetkin next.
Is that
who is another Russian? A guy named Alexander Povetkin.
Is that a kickboxing fight or a boxing?
This is boxing.
Oh, it is boxing. Okay.
And you're about to see the tie into this.
Okay.
Povetkin failed a drug test when fighting for a world championship against another champion, and he was pulled from that fight. And what came out was he was taking medications that were part of a Russian sport-sponsored program. You know what I'm talking about, a Russian doping program. And if you think about that, it kind of makes you wonder how many other athletes are kind of going through similar shit. Like when you had Maria Sharapova test positive for meldonium when she played tennis, another Russian. My point is, there are too many red flags to even consider being in bed with Russians because they will either stab you in the back or they will try to manipulate shit to where they feel comfortable and you do not. I feel like a deal like this is probably going to fuck over the UFC because they're going to be, like, M1 will bring in Russians that I'm pretty sure can't pass the drug test, and those that do, those that are taking drugs that USADA doesn't test for, they're going to run through people in an unfair way. So I'm sorry, but this Russian deal just reeks of shit and suspicion, and I would like both of your opinions on the matter. That's actually all I have for this evening, but I would just like to know what you all know, what you all think.
All right, Jay. So first of all, my clock was off. I just had to fix out my clock. Could you believe that? Anyway, it's unbelievable. It's so unprofessional. It took me an hour and a half to see that. Now, Jay, speaking of this whole Russian thing, and he's brought it up in the past about the Russians doing some shady business, and he actually brings up really good points, right? Yes, I do think there's some corrupt activity within Russia and how they bring these fighters in and miracles happen and 1 minute they suck, next thing they're the greatest. And now you have this fight against Anthony Joshua, where Anthony Joshua wasn't even supposed to fight this guy. He was supposed to fight, who was the other guy? Williams? Is that his name? Dante Williams? Or Dante or whatever the fuck his name is. Anyway, they were supposed to collide, and now that's not happening. But money talks. So the UFC getting involved with this whole situation, it's got to come down to money. Right? It's got to come down to money. And if there's corrupt activity, I wouldn't be surprised if the UFC looks the other way when it comes down to it. Because let's be honest, the UFC still has money to make. The UFC has money that they need to put back into their pockets after they spent so much cash on the company. So I wouldn't be surprised if even the UFC was in on some shady business. You know? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that. So I could see where Jay's coming with this whole thing. Now, is it going to be completely corrupt? I don't know how corrupt it's going to be, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something that was just like, okay, that's really fucking weird. Jessie, what do you think on this situation?
I agree. So sorry.
What happened?
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be completely honest. Okay?
Go ahead.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
You know, yeah, all right.
I do. I just, I'm so tired.
Wonderful. What's going on, Jessie? What's the problem today? It's just like sleepy. You know, hold on, ready? Shh. Go to sleep. Let's sing Jessie a lullaby in the chat, everyone. Give me a lullaby in the chat right now. Ready? Go to sleep. Go to sleep, little Jessie. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, JBH. Go to sleep, JBH. With a little Mexican face. Go to sleep, JBH. Please yawn so we can take a shot.
Okay.
You didn't yawn though. I mean, are you fighting the yawns?
I'm fighting them because you made fun of me for it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't make fun of you. I just tried to make if you're jumping in right now, I try to make it a drinking or smoking game. Every time Jessie yawned, because she's been doing that a lot lately, consuming a lot of the oxygen in the room, that we should do that. Yeah, I mean, I'm exhausted. You can see my eyes are bloodshot and shit like that. I'm exhausted, but goddamn celebrity. I never stop. Jessie, would you like me to shove this up your pussy? Would that wake you up? All right, let's take a couple more calls over here. 516-522-0267. And give us a ring on the MMA Holes. Check out our latest Instagram post over here. Follow us on Instagram, IG. We're having a little fun. And let's see. Go to the MMAHoles.com. Whoops, there's my tits. But that's not what I want to show you. Check this out. Check this out. Oh, hold that thought. 317, you're live with the MMA Holes. What's your name and what is on your mind?
Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, I do hear you.
How many times a day are you fucking Jessie? Be honest.
How many times a day am I fucking Jessie? Let's see. All right, let's see. The morning, lunch, night, both before the show, after show. That's 4 times. Is this Cow?
Is this Ross?
Nah. Fuck.
That had a very Texan accent to it.
Well, no, but that guy sounded like he was like 80 years old. So that's Cow. If I had to guess.
But
we haven't heard Cow in a while. I think that is. That's him. We haven't heard you. Welcome back to the show. And so that'd be 5 times. All right, so let's go back to this.
5 times a day.
All right, so that's why you follow us on Instagram. All right, so go check us out on Instagram at the MMA Holes, and you will see wonderful, wonderful posts like that. Right, Jessie? I mean, like, really? Does it get any better than that? You want to see it again?
Sure.
Okay, sure. I'll do it for you, Jessie. Here we go. The MMA Holes on Instagram. Check it out. The MMA Holes on Instagram. Here we go. There's a fan. Oh, yeah, get ready. The payoff is coming.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay. What'd you think about that
For
video?
the last caller, that particular face is what he uses to turn me on every time.
That is true. That is true. I'm like, Jessie, you ready? And I go, I do that over there. All right, we're going to take a couple more calls and wind this thing down. It's been a weird night. Is the All-Star game on tonight? And if so, what is the what's the score? All right, hold on. I think it's back. Cow? Is that you?
So when she move in with you, man?
Now, hold on. Is this Cow?
Or is this Ross?
Hello?
Yeah, I made it back, yeah.
So where have you been? Where the fuck you been?
I don't know.
You do really... You're like a...
I don't make it a priority to watch you on YouTube, honestly.
Well,
Why not?
Well, no, hold on a second. Now, do you realize that you're a staple of the show with the... Like, that is a staple of the show.
You want to know something? Honestly, man, I take pride in that.
Yeah, it's great. I think about it. I mean, that has probably been the soundbite that's lasted the longest, and people still get a kick out of that shit.
Make this your YouTube streams a lot better.
It does. Yeah, we'll make it better.
Put your dick in her mouth right now or something.
All right. So can you give us a live faggot? Can we get a live faggot? All right, thanks. There we go. He's such a weirdo, that guy, right?
And blocked.
He sounds like... No, I'm not going to block him. He sounds like, I don't know, he smoked a lot of cigarettes. He's also...
He sounds
up in age. He's up there. He's up there. I don't feel that old anymore when I listen to that guy. Sounds like he's he's on the last lung. That does deserve an acumen. Cow's back. So welcome back Cow to the show. And acumen. All right. 516-522-0267. Get on. I feel like, Jessie, are we bothering you?
No. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Did you yawn?
Not.
Oh, shit. Did
no.
you yawn? Oh, man. I was hoping we would get the shot.
I'm sorry.
I got to say that it's electric tonight. The energy in this room is so electric. It really is. I mean, I'm feeling it. Listen, why don't you... The phone lines are open if they want to call. Jessie, why don't you just address the audience and tell just what is on your mind? No, what is on your mind?
I'm sorry.
You know what it's like? My father used to he used to ask me to help him clean the car. Like, and I'm like, all right. And I just go over outside like, do I have to clean the car? I feel like it's like that. All right, here we go. 218, you're live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your minds?
Why are you so tired?
It's a good question. Who are you asking, me or Jesse?
I'm asking Jesse.
All right, Jesse, go ahead.
Whoever wants to answer.
Ran all the way to California and back.
You ran all the way to California and back.
That's what I did. Like
What do you guys do in a day?
What do we do
None
today?
ya.
In a day, yeah. What do you guys do to
None
get so
ya.
tired?
I tell you what, the amount of sex that we have, it really is tiring.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If you have sex about 5 times a day, eventually you get tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens. Or if you jerk off a lot like that, sometimes that could take a toll, you know?
Yeah, that will.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, you guys. I mean, other than sex, what else do you do?
Oh, shit.
What goes on in your life?
Well, Jesse's Mexican, so I eat beans a lot, and it makes me shit. So we fuck and then take shits. We actually,
You shit on her chest, or likewise?
Yeah, I do.
Can we end this conversation now, please?
Well, I mean, there's
It's
nothing
very
wrong with
awkward.
I got nothing better to do. Entertain me.
Okay.
You called us. You entertain us.
Oh, man. Where are you from?
I'm eating waffles. This is Isaiah. I'm from Minnesota.
Oh, Isaiah.
Can I come eat waffles?
I just finished my waffles, yeah, and I was upset because the butter didn't melt all the way.
I tell you what, if I eat those waffles, can I have some waffles and shit on Jesse's chest for your waffle shit? Can I?
Yeah, you can do that.
That'd be awesome.
Eat some, put some paprika in there, get some color to it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call, man. It's been great. All right. All right. Here we go. Call in 516-522-0267 on the MMA-Holes. It's the sleepy hour, right?
No,
we have a sleepy
I'm
segment.
good. I'm sorry. My apologies. I don't fucking know what I'm saying.
What do you think about the fights this weekend? All right, hold on a second. All right, here we go. 503, the MMA-Holes. What's your name? What's on your mind?
It's the knitter.
It's the knitter.
NH, can you do something to wake up JBH?
I can't do anything. She just looks so tired.
She does.
I'm never
All that I suggested was, Chris, quit keeping her up.
Yeah, I'm putting it to work. I actually slave driver. I have a whip, and I fucking crack the whip. And like, get to work, Jesse. Right? And then she takes her pants off.
The strawberry butt plugs work too. I don't know.
And
how come you
stop
didn't-
right now.
I was kind of hoping she would bring the strawberry bug plug, but unfortunately that wasn't the case.
It was a dog toy.
I missed the You didn't pack the strawberry butt plug, did you, Jesse?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
She's awake now.
Yeah. You did wake her up. Yeah, she's ready to rock now.
I am so ready to rock.
Yeah, why didn't you bring the strawberry blood plug? We could have hung it in the
It
background.
was a dog toy.
Maybe I wanted to chew on it. Yeah.
Chew on it.
It's such a weird show tonight.
It's so weird.
And are you watching the World Series? The World Series. Hello, the All-Star game. Is that on?
Yeah, I think it's on.
Let's get a score on that thing. Let's see. I'm gonna look. Oops, I lost my head.
Smooth move, Slick.
I used to watch baseball a lot more when my mom was alive.
Baseball. Baseball. I love baseball.
All right, let's see.
I still like it, just not as much. I mean, yeah. Pretty much MMA is taken over now, but
I cannot blame
I
you.
used to watch it all the time when my mom was alive because she loved it and crazy about it.
Hey, baseball and MMA, both phenomenal sports. Some people, you know what's funny? People can't even sit through baseball because it's less eventful.
I know.
But
it's not boring though.
Here's the thing.
It's not.
I have this mentality. Baseball's one of my favorite sports. Ask anybody. It's probably my favorite. But if you can appreciate sports the right way, you don't have to it doesn't have to be an eventful sport for you to be able to enjoy it. You know, you just have to be able to appreciate the sport, and then you can enjoy it that way. You know, that's always been my mentality, especially when it comes to baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And sitting out there in the bleachers, drinking beer, and
there you go.
You know, having the hot dogs.
And the hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
This is Bregman's heroic earned him special ASG MVP. So we got a home run in the 10th. Was this tonight or I don't know? What am I looking at? I'm curious now. Who won the All-Star game? Like I give a fuck. Bregman's go-ahead home run. We're trying to wake up. You know,
He's waking up.
I tell you what. Out of all All-Star games, which one is the worst? What sport has the worst All-Star game? I'm going to have to go with the NBA.
Oh, I don't really watch basketball too much, so I can't really agree or disagree.
And I love basketball. I really do like basketball a lot. But I'm going to have to go with the NBA with the worst All-Star game. Now, their skills thing isn't bad, right? Where they have the three-point competition, the dunk competition, which I think got a little old.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to have to go with the NBA. And now let's go around the horn. Ann, what do you think? What's the worst All-Star game? What sport has the worst All-Star game?
I'd say what you just said, basketball.
Jay
I
Smooth?
think it's a little boring.
Yeah, basketball is boring. All right, so now Jay Smooth says football, they don't even play. They just jog and hug to the end zone. I would say football is a close second. Actually, you know what? Fuck. The football's not even during the season, right? Is that at the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe it is football. Shit. NHL's a horrible game, yes, but their All-Star game is still better than the NBA All-Star game. The NBA All-Star game is just brutal. It's literally like 200 to 230, and they're just throwing alley-oops, and it's just like, oh, kill me now.
Yeah, it's like, who's going to dunk now?
By the way, I just saw, what's it called? Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic in, when they had the coaches challenge with, what's it called? Tough? I didn't get a chance to see it, but I finally watched it back with the hockey. That was fantastic. Did you see that, Ann?
With the hockey? Oh, yeah, that was great, yes.
Right?
DC did great, yeah.
DC.
He couldn't believe himself either how well he did.
That was fantastic. That was so great. Like, Stipe Miocic, you would think he's a lock. Ohio. He skated on ponds. He's walking around all confident. He gets like 2 shots in right off the bat. Daniel Cormier can't even stand on the skates. And then somehow DC wins. It's fucking crazy.
He had 4 shots.
It was great. He was great. Yeah, they had to keep on picking him up.
Yeah, every time they took
Every
a shot,
time.
he just fucking fell like a sack of shit. That was great.
Yep.
I loved it. I fucking loved it. You know what? That's what Tough should be. It should just be coaches' challenges in other sports. I would love to see.
But Tough is about the other. It's not about the coaches.
I want to see a Tough show about challenges with MMA fighters, like outside of mixed martial arts. Fuck it.
Well, didn't they have the first one? They come out with like challenges against the fighters to see who would fight. They did little challenges like that, I think.
The with the coaches.
Didn't they used to do that.
The challenges?
No, they had the fighters. Or challenge each other to see who would stay in the house and if they lost or fought. I thought.
Yes.
It's been a while, so.
They did do that to fight to get into the house. Yeah, they did do that. I'm curious. I want to see like them play like bocce ball or some shit. Like I want to see like like Khabib versus McGregor in bocce ball or water polo or some shit. You know?
Water polo. I could just see that.
Or Marco Polo, right? Khabib, Marco Polo, Mudko.
And Putin.
Polo. Yeah, that would be good. Khabib versus Artem, Marco Polo.
Marco.
That would be great.
Polo.
Yeah. And do you play Marco Polo with Mike H?
Oh, God, that's funny.
Yeah. I play in the bedroom with Jessie. We play under the covers. Yeah, it's great. Oh, we fucking lost our minds. Right? But she never lets me be Marco. It's fucked up.
And you too, yeah. There you go. There's your idea. Marco Polo. I can just see it now. Jesse under the covers.
Yeah.
Marco Polo.
Oh, fuck. We've lost our minds. Anyway.
Jesse, she's like...
That's what she gets for falling asleep on the show.
I didn't fall asleep. I was good. I apologize. I was ready to go.
It would be amazing, though, if Jessie just passed out on the show. Like, that would be so clutch. You need to just fall asleep on the show.
I was ready to.
It would be
Halfway
so
through
funny.
the show, I was doing this when your page was turned. And when I said that you flipped back to us, I was like,
Did you really?
Rewatch the stream.
That's great.
If you rewatch the stream, you'll see it.
We fall asleep. We can't even entertain ourselves. We're supposed to entertain you guys, and we're falling asleep on each other. It's great. What a show.
That's pretty funny.
Well, I can't. Tune in tomorrow where we fall asleep during the PFL.
I can see it now.
Oh,
Jesse's
fuck.
gonna be like,
Yeah.
huh?
All right, Ann.
What?
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right,
It's
so
dinner time.
any last words? I'm going to end the calls with you, Ann. So the floor is yours. Any last words? I mean, if you heard our interview, I didn't hear it. Unfortunately, his internet was perfect.
I didn't hear it.
But
Yeah, I kind of was
yeah,
going in and out. I couldn't hear him that well, but
yeah. What are you gonna
I'll
do?
try to go back. But
All right. You have any jokes,
You
Ann?
lost?
Would you want to end it with a joke? Do you have any jokes?
well,
Okay, let's see.
I don't know. I was trying to think of a joke.
Okay, you have time.
Let
Don't
me
worry.
see. Just a minute. Wait a
Okay.
minute.
I think she's got a good one waiting for us.
Wait a minute. Oh, I got my phone. Sorry about that. What
Okay.
has a neck but
Okay.
no head and still wears a cap?
All right, here we go. Hold on a second. Let's think. A neck with no head and still has a cap.
Sleepy Hollow.
Jessie says Sleepy Hollow. Chat room, what do you say? A neck with no head.
Because he has the collar around his jacket and he wears a hat.
Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, you
And
know
still
what?
wears a hat. Cap.
A neck with no head and still wears a hat. We'll get in the chat, see if they have answers. It's probably so silly, and I can't think of it. It's a joke, and if it was Sleepy Hollow, that's not funny, Jessie. So how is that even a
Oh,
joke?
sorry.
She's just sleeping.
I'm sorry.
Even her joke is falling asleep. Even she's like Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow. What the fuck? And it's not even the Headless Horseman. Are you trying to say? Not Sleepy Hollow didn't ride the horse.
Sleepy Hollow. The Headless Horseman.
The fucking Headless Horseman. All right, and what is?
She followed asleep with it.
All right. So, what is the answer?
A bottle.
Ah. But that's not really. The fuck. It's not really a joke, and that's a riddle, but we'll take it.
But it's good. I liked it.
right.
It gets you thinking.
Yes. And thank you for the call.
Hey,
Appreciate
that's
it.
the best I could do. What can I say?
You did good. You did good.
Good job, Annie.
All right, Ann. We'll
Love
see
you.
tomorrow.
Love you guys. Love you, Jessie. Love you, Chris.
All right. Love you much. Why are we saying we love her to Ann? I mean,
Because I love Ann.
but if I loved Ann.
I'm a lesbian for Ann H.
Ooh, yeah. Sexy time with Ann. I guess I love Ann. I guess.
You better. She's been around long enough. And she's the 7%er.
I guess. Diane's good peeps. Ann and Mike H are wonderful, wonderful. And that was a weird 10 minutes that we just had over there, but it was fun. I think it was fun. Maybe we should have Sleepy Hollow.
I was thinking riddle, and I just thought,
Yeah.
kind of like what's black and white and red all over. You know, like,
Is that the joke I'm thinking and hangs in front of my lawn?
oh no, that one
That's
is
a very racist
no,
joke.
that
I thought you were
one's-
gonna say. I'm like, oh my god.
No, that one's
Yeah. What is the joke you're saying?
no, a newspaper.
Wait, what is the what?
What's black and white and red all over?
And red all over. What's black and white and red all over? A newspaper.
Come on.
Well, you don't read all over a newspaper.
You read a newspaper.
You read through a newspaper.
You read a newspaper.
You read a newspaper, not all over a newspaper. No
You
one says,
read
"Hey."
all over a newspaper.
No one says that.
What's black
if
and
I
white
handed you a newspaper
and red all over?
Yeah, if I said if I handed you a newspaper, I'm like, do me a favor, read all over that newspaper. No one says that. Yeah, no one says. I'm like, here's a newspaper, and do me a favor, make sure you read all over this. Who fucking says that? Sleepy Hollow.
Because there's black and white all over it.
Mhm.
So you read all over the newspaper.
We'll see you tomorrow night for PFL. This weekend, Anthony Smith will fight Shogun Rua, and I have to say, I'm a little torn in this fight. I'm a little bit torn, but I might have to go with the OG. I don't know. Just looking at this fight over here, do you have a guaranteed pick?
Anthony Smith for the win.
Anthony Smith. You see a finish?
You know what? Should I go with Shogun?
No, too late. You made your pick.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Go with Anthony.
Okay, so you're going to Anthony Smith. Got the reach, the youth coming up. Big fight, main card, main event. Shogun. I got to go with Shogun. What do you guys think in the chat as we wind this thing down? Thank you for joining in on the weirdest show ever on the MMA Holes. TGIW to my friends. One more like, 20 likes. If you have not subbed, give us a sub. We'll see you tomorrow night for PFL. The few that did donate, you are wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Tomato cans. That's going to be a barn burner, says David Full. I think it's going to be a good fight. I really do. Shogun fighting for a title shot, so he'll bring his A game, says Drunk Savage. What's green and red all over? It's Kermit the Frog in a blender. Oh, my God.
That's good.
Whoa.
I like that one.
All right, here we go. I'm going to try this blender out. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Bingy.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I don't have a blender sound effect. You do the blender, okay? All right, here we go. I'm going to check out the blender here. Let's press this button. All right, here we go. Let me click. You're supposed to be the blender, Jesse. All right, kids. Here we go. Let's start the blender. All right. Heidi ho.
How does a blender sound?
You guys do the blender sound.
How does a blender sound?
You don't know how a blender would sound? It's really loud and noisy. Go ahead, go for it. All right. Here we go. All right. Maybe this blender will work.
Steve Johnston.
A blender doesn't sound like...
Use your throat.
All right, here we go. Start the blender. Start it up. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. 20 likes, 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
All right.
All
righty.
Sean Hart.
Well, let's end on that. Thank you for watching. PFL is tomorrow night. Was at 8 p.m., I think, Eastern time. So check that out. We will be live inside the Queen Studios of New York. Thank you for likes. Go to bed. All right, here we go. Jesse, any last words to the MMA Holes?
Don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA hole.